Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We'll leave a few more minutes so everybody can join the session, and then we will start with today's presentation. So once again, hi everyone. I see people are slowly joining in. I think I can start with a slow intro in today's session. I hope everybody hears me well. So thank you for joining us today. Today we are here with Thomas Matson, which is a VP of Business Development at BlackFog, and Mr. Halad Rhyme, who is a Sales Director at BlackFog for Europe. So just a few general housekeeping things before we start with this session. So basically all attendees are on mute. In case you have any questions during this session, please use your chat. We will be happy to answer any questions you may have. Let us know if you have any issues with audio or video. As I see, everything works fine. And at the end, the session is being recorded, so we will also share the recording with you after this webinar. So not to take a lot of time from today's session, I will hand it over to Mr. Thomas Madsen. So
Thank you so much.
just make you a presenter. You're welcome.
Yeah. So can you please confirm that you are seeing the right slide?
We see the right slide. Thank you.
Perfect. So thank you so much, everyone, for attending today. My name is Thomas Matson. I'm the VP of Business Development for BlackFog. I've been with BlackFog for many years, so I will be able to answer all your questions you might have after this session. I will, to begin with, run through quite quick what BlackFog is doing, how it's we are operating, and the function of it, and then I will jump into the exchange hack as you were invited to. We do have a live Danish managed service provider that got hit by this exchange hack, and that I'm going to show you today. So he was hit about 2 months ago, and all the details in it, and what we looked at, and what we found, and that's what I'm going to show you today. So again, thank you so much for joining. So BlackFog is an agent that you need to install on all your devices. So we are not in the cloud with the agent. We do not send anything to the cloud to be analyzed and back to the agent. Everything you do it on the agent on the device, and it's really important that you keep it on an agent level on a device because of privacy. Because right now, many people tend to send too much data to the cloud to be analyzed, and what if the cloud's being hacked and so on. So it's really important, filter all the data on the device, approve it or deny it. So when BlackFog do that with an agent you install on iOS, Android, Windows, Mac, also Windows servers, of course, as an Exchange server, as we're looking at today. That means we are covering anything from data privacy, data protection, cybersecurity, and data security in one go. So we do not only focus on cybersecurity, we actually want to prevent that you guys are having data exfiltrated from your devices or from your servers. And that we do with the data privacy to begin with. So in our world, data exfiltration always starts with data privacy, because by protecting the data privacy on the individual's machine, that is in most of the cases how they are getting into the corporate network to be hit with a ransomware. So they will start targeting all of us, myself, Howell, Sinisa, Alex, all of us. And when they know who are we, what are we looking at, what are our interests, that makes it much easier for them to target you and send you some fake emails, fake advertisements, and profile you, so they know what you're doing. So BlackFog will, with the data privacy, protect you from sending unauthorized data to raw IP addresses, to Russia, China, Ukraine, dark web, any countries you might want to block. We also protect the advertisement environment on your devices. So this feature is actually a feature that you can visually see. So by installing BlackFog on your devices, if you go to news sites like CNN, Fox News, some Austrian sites, or any news site, we will filter away 99% of all the advertisement servers that are coming onto those sites. Because by filtering away advertisement servers also mean we are filtering away malware. With no ads, no malware. And it's in the malware that it starts to become very dangerous and turns into ransomware as well. And the real problem is not that you get a ransomware in, they lock your device, and you can then just install a backup and you're good to go. No, the real problem is today that they will steal your data. They will exfiltrate the data before they lock you down. And now they will say, if you don't pay, we will publicize these data. And that's a real difference between the ransomware today and 5 years ago. Because 5 years ago, they would only lock you and irritate you and want to pay to unlock it. Today, they're also publicizing the data they stole. And that's why it's really, really important to have a data exfiltration service on it. So we also look at profiling towards social medias. We look at fake news. We look at general profiles from advertisement sites, and of course, dark web. This is just some of the features and the functions that are in the BlackFog. I'll come deeper into them when we move along, but by focusing on the data privacy out here and blocking and preventing all these things to happen, you're actually minimizing the risk of using all the nice cybersecurity tools you spent hundreds of thousands of euros on for the last 5, 10 years. Because if we protect the endpoint and the individual, the chance of you being hit by cybersecurity issues are minimizing it really a lot. So that's how we address cybersecurity and privacy together. We know that COVID changed the world, the way we all work. So now being working from home, like myself, like all my staff, means that we are not behind the corporate firewall. We are not behind the all the nice network gears. We are actually just sitting on a normal Wi-Fi router at home, and it's much easier to target you now. And again, that's why you needed the agent on the endpoint. So no matter where it goes, to a cafe or home, you are actually protected. So what do you have today? So today you have inbound known vulnerabilities. They are they are network, they are firewalls, they are parameter defense, they are antiviruses, and then on the other side you have BlackFog, where we actually are monitoring the outbound, um, and so we cover the missing link, or we fill the gap between the two solutions you have today that are not doing the data exfiltration and the outbound blockings. Yes, many of you might have EDR, XDR that actually claims they do outbound data monitoring. They do some outbound data monitoring, but they for sure do not do it as we do on the network layer 3 with our own kernel drivers. And we actually have quite a lot of customers having an EDR, XDR, and still are blocking some very interesting traffic with BlackFog that never ever gets blocked with these other systems. So that's why we don't compete with these systems. We actually complement them nicely. So the different layers that we are working with is anything from suspicious addresses to dark web to PowerShell attacks to execution prevention, crypto mining, geofencing, all these different layers. That is what makes BlackFog unique, because you might receive an email. With that email, there's a link. You click that link. That might take you to dark web, be blocked by us. But it could also take you to, let's say, a legitimate server in Germany, but on a raw IP address. That is suspicious for us, because you just click the link that wants to go on a raw IP address, port 80, block it as well. So we have many different ways of detecting the same issue, and that's why we're also able to see this exchange hack before any of the other tools were actually picking it up, and that I'll come into. So with BlackFog, it's outbound, it's on the device, and it's the network we are monitoring. As I said, we have our own kernel drivers. We're located on network layer 3, and that means anything leaving the device would be monitored by BlackFog. Any port, any protocol, anything. Where the EDR, XDR solutions, they are mainly working at the application layer on layer 7. So just to sum it up quickly, we want to prevent rather than cure. We are privacy and security together. We are blocking outbound data flow, and we are true on device. That is BlackFog. So what you really came for today and want to see, this just to give you a little story about the MSP here before we start. All these exchange hacks, all over the world, people are saying, yeah, okay, it's Microsoft being hit, but quite fast it turned out that yes, it's Microsoft that has been hit, but it's actually affecting all of us because we're the ones having on-premise exchange servers that were not patched correctly, and now it's a problem. So this guy from the MSP, he called me uh, end mid-February, beginning of February, and said, Thomas, we've seen some strange traffic in BlackFog. It looks that our exchange server wants to send data to dark web, and it wants to activate some illegal executables on the exchange server and so on. But I'm not sure. I don't think it can really be this exchange hack because I have tried Malwarebytes, I have tried Sophos, I have tried almost any application I could find, and they didn't recognize anything. So, do you think it's a false positive, or what do what do you want us to do? So, and of course, I said no, I don't think it's a false positive, but we need to investigate a little bit further into it. And a little bit later, they were truly hit by the exchange hack. So it was not a false positive. So even we pick up things that any of the other security tools you have in place does not pick up, doesn't mean that it's not valid that we pick it up, because we do it on a very different way than all the other tools, and that's the story here today. So basically, this customer of the MSP that got hacked have a totally normal setup. Some PCs, desktops, laptops working behind the firewall in the corporate network. They have internet-facing servers. They have Exchange servers. They have people working from home. They have the total classic setup for company in these COVID times. So this um, timeline that I'm showing you now also needs to be taken into consideration, because we saw the exchange hack on the 23rd of December the first time, long before it was announced by Microsoft. So we could read back to the dates, 23rd of December, that these exchange servers were trying to communicate to dark web and doing something that Microsoft publicly announced end of January. This is where we saw it at this customer the first time. It can have been longer with others, we don't know, but here we saw it 23rd of December the first time. Then on that, as I said, we saw it on some of the servers up here. Then it took until 2nd of February when this guy called me and said, Thomas, something is wrong. On the 2nd of February, the Exchange server was really infected with the Exchange hack, and now the the team behind this Exchange hack is trying to send fake emails to all the different employees of this company, and they've been working from home, so it was quite easy to pass corporate firewalls and all that, no problem. And on somewhere between the 2nd of February and the 14th, 15th of February, one of the employees actually succeeded by clicking a link, getting some executable payloads on their physical device. And then on the Friday, I think it's Friday the 12th of February, this person was actually carrying the physical laptop into the corporate network and plugging into the network stick. So they were passing all the rules, all the software security that you have in place, because they carried the payload physically onto the domain network. When they did that, it actually started uh, sniffing around and trying to activate on all the machines it could find on that network. And they succeeded on the 15th to this Exchange server here. And today, on the 16th of February, they were killed. They were locked. Basically with ransomware saying, hey, we got your data, please pay us. And we will not disclose this on the internet. Luckily, we can prove that they never got the data because we blocked all the dark web connections that they wanted to send it to. So they didn't have to pay, and it was reported to the government that this was blocked, and with the report that we also blocked it. So we're quite happy. But even now, this presentation is a month old. But then they cleaned everything. They reinstalled the Exchange server. They did everything they thought they could. But on the 26th, it was back again. So it was hiding somewhere in the network, just waiting for the Exchange server to be cleaned and come back. And even the day as today, they still have issues on the Exchange server they can't find. And we can just tell them we're still blocking these kind of things, and we can show it to them, but they do still have problems, and none of the other services are still not detecting those problems, and that's a big issue. So what really is triggering my mind is that if this customer have reacted to it on the 23rd of December instead of waiting 2 months and thinking it's false positives and so on from the console, they could probably have stopped it long time before it turned into a problem. So please react to the messages that BlackFog gives you, and please take them seriously, because just because nobody have seen it in other security system doesn't mean that it's not existing. So look at it and handle it. So how does it look like in a let's say call it a funny drawing? Basically, it's like a big fat cannon hammering against the wall to the corporate network, and at some point, nobody can hold back for forever. So there will be holes in the wall, like this employee clicking the wrong link and so on. And then they will basically, after that, take the cannon and move it inside, and then they will start firing from the inside and out. And after a while, the wall is down. Is down. No matter how high or thick it is, it will be down at some point. So what should we do? What should we look for? And why did we discover this exchange hack? So these screenshots here are taken by me when this MSP called me and said, Thomas, we need some help investigating this because we can't read the data ourselves, and we want your eyes on it because it's really bad. So I took these screenshots. They of course approved that I can do this presentation to other people, because they don't want them to be into the same. So when you log on to the BlackFog dashboard, all your agents will report into this dashboard what has been blocked on every single agent. We are not sending anything to the cloud to be analyzed and approved. What you see here is only things that have been blocked on the device. So when you log on, I see immediately 861 ransomware attempts on this device, or on this console. So that is spread out over 148 devices if you look at it that way. In this case, it's only very few devices, but 861 ransomware attempts over the last 30 days. And that's a lot, and that you need to react to. So how do we react to it, and what have we seen? We have something called an impact center that we made for you guys, because we know looking at log files, looking at events creates a lot of noise, and it creates a lot of things. What should I look for? What should I take seriously? Why? And so on. So we created this impact center for you guys. So we are filtering away the noise to begin with. You can always get all the noise and all the events if you want to. And when we start investigating deeper, we need it. But to begin with, if you look at the impact center, customer by customer or all together, means you will get a nice clean view. Is there anything not normal in here? And immediately I take the last 30 days, I make myself a baseline on the top here with the red line visually, saying, I normally exfiltrate 30, 40, 50 times a day over on 150 machines. So not bad, not at all. But my eyes find some days that are peaking up. Why are these days peaking up? So that's the first thing I would look at. This is unnormal behavior these days. This is what I should investigate in. Then I would move down a little bit and start looking at the weekly impact. Why and what's going on here? And this, I have something exfiltration on a Sunday at midday. Why am I having exfiltrations on a Sunday? This is a public Danish customer, and I'm absolutely sure they're not working on a Sunday. So this is really, really interesting as well. And then I'll move over to the hourly impact, and I also see that they're exfiltrating data in the middle of the night. And again, no one is working in the middle of the night with this customer. So this is the first things I would look at. Then I would scroll down on the same page. I'm still at the same page on the impact center, just down at the bottom. Now I will start looking at the different machines. And here I find the Exchange server at the top. So the Exchange server tried to exfiltrate data 536 times over a 30-day period again. An Exchange server should not try to send any data out on different ports. It should only communicate with the end users on email basis. It should not exfiltrate data to unknown addresses. And again, if I then go to the processors, what processors did this? And this was the Exchange server process that are doing it. So it is actually the Exchange server hack because it's the Exchange server doing it. And now with this in mind that I have the Exchange server, I know it's the Exchange server process that are doing it. Now I can start investigate a lot deeper into it with all the events and so on. So if I on the left hit the event side and I make myself a filter on all the events and say I want to see the Exchange server. So I filter on the Exchange, and now I can start looking at, okay, what really happened here on the Exchange server 01. What time of the day, what happened. I got some network threads that are trying to on my network with the Exchange server, but I also try to exfiltrate data to dark web. So I filtered on the Exchange server. I have all that. I start seeing here on the right that the MS Frontex Exchange Transporter Service is trying to send data out on a strange port with a process ID called 3664. Now, okay, might happen once, no problem. But what I see here down under, it's a network threat, really, really bad. But it's also changing port all the time to try to go out on different ports to find the holes in the cheese or the cannon holes in the wall. So it actually will go out. In this case, it doesn't matter. BlackFog is looking at the method, not the port, not the destination, but how is it doing it. So we are blocking all these different attempts. But at the same time, I also see that the system process wants to use a strange port with a process ID number 4 to send data to dark web. So now it's trying to activate this exchange hack on the device below, but at the same time it's also trying to steal all the data and send it to dark web. And this is the report now that I can say, guys, you tried to send it to dark web, but you didn't succeed. And that's what this is about. So again, no username. All this column is blank, so we know it's a server doing it themselves. There's no user logged on trying to do it. So just to give myself a little bit of overview, how did it start and why? So I'm still at the event side, but I changed my search at the top a little bit to the legal process. Now I start seeing that it's an MSI exe that is trying to execute on my device with an illegal parent. So that means it's trying to execute in the wrong location with the wrong system and the wrong ports. And again, I see it changes process ID all the time to different process IDs. So it's trying to find that, okay, if I masqueraded this process ID, then I might succeed. Or if I masqueraded this process ID, it might succeed. But again, we are blocking it because it's a method we are blocking, not the exact installer. Again, I saw this now, 15th of February. So this happened on the 15th of February, that it actually activated on this exchange server, these different things here. And if you remember, it was the 15th of February that all this peaked out as well. So one of the dates that they were locked. So it's really important that it's not only the exchange server. Here you also see it on some terminal services. They're trying now to spread around inside the network because the payload was carried physically into it. And now, so with this, you can prove that yes, it tried first a terminal server, then it moved to exchange server, but it couldn't activate on it because BlackFog was there. And how do we then know this is bad? We actually know it because the IP address it was wanted to exfiltrate data to was actually going to Iran. And I'm absolutely sure again, this Danish customer don't want to send anything to Iran. And the second line it was trying to only just taking 180 IP address to 183. Now it's actually going to Russia instead. So I'm absolutely sure that this data exfiltration attempts was not legal attempts, and they were blocked. But can we just say, okay, if we block China, Russia, Iran, and so on, are we then good to go? Because that is one of the features in the BlackFog agent, and I would say absolutely not, because this exchange hack with this IP address actually came out of Switzerland, or masquerading as Switzerland. So no, you cannot just block those countries and be safe. You need a behavioral method to look at the different options to block it. So it's really, really important that we know that. So you can see this was reported the first time, 2nd of February, that this exchange hack was trying to exfiltrate data to this 45,950 IP address. And on the 2nd of February, it's funny enough, it's the same day that this guy was hit as well. So that's the 2nd of February was the day that the exchange hack got wild and crazy to a lot of different people, and it also shows up here. So it all looks I would say, it all points in that direction that this is 100% the exchange hack. But why did I say to begin with that we then saw it on the 23rd of December? So now looking at the IP addresses, the anonymous the dark web traffic, and all these different things that was sent, we were then looking at all the events back and seeing, have we seen this before? Have we seen it on the exchange server? And we can trace it back to the 23rd of December, just before Christmas. So how can we avoid this for the future? And to be honest, I don't think we can avoid it at all. None of us, because if they been inside Microsoft, infiltrating the exchange, if they've been inside the SolarWind system, if they've been inside the American government for 9 months without them knowing it, I don't think any of us here can avoid it. We can do our very best, but I don't think we can avoid it. So we can now start. How can we stop exfiltrations of happening? Because I think they will get in when they want. So I think we can minimize it. I don't think we can avoid it. So how do we minimize it? We patch correctly, as you all know that. We look for exfiltration attempts in the console, and we actually react to them. We also clean the devices when we see some strange behavioral traffic and things that we can't pick up. So if BlackFog tells you that an endpoint is trying to communicate to Russia all the time, or dark web, or doing these exfiltration attempts, but Malwarebytes and the others tools that didn't find this because it was a 0-day exploit, so on. What do? Take the device in, give it a new image, and let the user start over. I know it's much more difficult with an exchange server, but if we're at the user level to begin with, let's just clean it and wipe it, and then you're good to go. But most importantly, you need to protect the data privacy on the endpoint out there. So when you protect that data privacy, the chances of being hit are minimized by hundreds. And that's the real lesson here. So how does this attack actually start? It started on one laptop in the corporate network. The staff was working remotely. They clicked the wrong link. They took the laptop physically into the network. So the big question is, why did BlackFog not prevent them from clicking that link to begin with? And that was what triggered my mind for a very, very long time until we found why. Because looking at the logs from the MSP, what was installed on it, when was it installed, and so on. So basically, unfortunately, BlackFog was not activated on that one laptop that came in. So he basically forgot to install the whole security suite on the end user's laptop. So the lesson here is that we need BlackFog on every single endpoint because they will find that one laptop, that hole in the cheese, and they will get in. So that's the main lesson from what I showed you today. And today, this was actually a week ago, the same customer have 25,800 ransomware attempts. That was the Monday after I took the first screenshots. So the weekend after, you can see they also installed a few more machines, so 164. So they actually found 12 machines more they didn't have BlackFog on. They immediately installed them, and then the ransomware attempts just exploded because those 12 devices that they installed BlackFog on, they were infected, and that's what gave them this result. So again, install it on every endpoint and start controlling your own data exfiltration. So basically, my big question to you guys should be, what is your data exfiltration strategy, and what do you do to protect your customers? That's the main questions to ask yourself, and of course your customers. Tell them that, hey, I found a new tool, we have this possibility, we can add this exfiltration service for you, and we can monitor that you're not being or you're not exfiltrating data to any bad countries and places. So thank you so much for listening in. And Sinisa, do we have any type questions or anything that I should respond to?
Yep, there are a few questions. Let me just check. Let me go through them. So there is a question saying, so we have many customers battling with Exchange attack right now. Is it too late to install BlackFog on these
Okay, very good question.
servers?
Yeah, very good question. And we actually, after we showed this exchange hack about a month and a half ago, we got the same questions, and we have had a lot of customers installing on the exchange server afterwards. And no, it's not too late, because we might be too late to stop the activation of it because it's after, but we from this point on stop that. You're not sending any more data to dark web. You're not updating any executables that are trying to get new ways of working and so on. So yes, I can't guarantee that all your data has been saved from the past, but I can now show you that you have stopped the exfiltration to dark web, and you can also tell your customers that we installed this, and from now on we can actually prove that your data is safe and so on. So please use it. Please install BlackFog on the Exchange servers that you're having, and then I'm actually sure that you'll be surprised to see what's going on, because I think we have had 150, 180 Exchange servers installed in the past month. And over 80% of them have shown suspicious traffic. So for sure, not too late. Yes.
Okay, so thank you. There is also another one. It's about the console itself. So basically, all these events that were listed in the console, are they automatically blocked, or is it just a warning, or is there an option to
Yeah.
soft block or something like this?
Yeah. So, so to begin with, everything you see in the console has been blocked. So it is not something you need to react on in 30 seconds or 10 seconds to do something about it, because it has been blocked. So you can, I would say, take it easier and investigate in your own time and so on. No problem. It's being blocked. All good. And yes, we also have a soft key or soft blocking method, because we have a function called training mode with BlackFog. So you can install BlackFog on an Exchange server or on a laptop, put it into training mode. It will then still report the events in, but we are not blocking them. So we have those two options. But what we've seen today, those were blocked. But you can also get them to be non-blocked. So it's an option for you guys. So if you want to basically run an assessment with one of your customers saying, we install BlackFog on these 100 machines and 10 servers, and then we put them into training mode. And after 2 weeks, dear customer, we will give you this report and we will show you what's going on in your network. And that might be a good way to convince them to buy BlackFog, or it could be a service that you guys are selling to them and so on. So it can be used for many different options with when you have that training mode capability to be turned on and off. Did that answer it, Sinisa?
I believe so. I believe so.
Yeah.
There's also another interesting question: is how do I see what data is being exfiltrated?
So data. So you're not seeing with BlackFog what data that are being exfiltrated, because we do not compete with the DLP, the data loss prevention systems. For BlackFog, we really don't care what data it is. For us, it is a method that it's a raw IP address, it's port 80, it's a strange port, it doesn't have the right SSL certificate, it's dark web, it's all the combinations of what you saw earlier is that as a processor, a Microsoft front end transporter service is trying to send data to dark web. So that is what we are blocking, because that service should never send data to dark web, for instance. So it's a combination of what service, where's the destination, and how is it going there that BlackFog is blocking, not the actual that is it is a credit card information, or it's been a customer database or something, because we don't we don't know what's good or bad in your environment. We know that it is the destination and where the data wants to go that is really bad, and that's how we are blocking it. Yes.
Okay, so also there's one. I can see BlackFog has detected and stopped an attack. Should I rebuild my device?
Depending on what and how alerting it is, because if you see let's just call it one attempt from a normal end user's device to dark web, for instance, that could been something you clicked on a website. You're going to a an Austrian website and you're clicking on something, and that might take you and trying to send some data to dark web. We blocked it once, and that's fine. You shouldn't react on it. But if the same user is getting 5, 10, 15 now new attempts to different sites and different things, then yes, of course you should react to it and clean the device or rebuild it, or whatever appropriate service might be. But if you only see it once, you shouldn't be scared. If you see it repeatedly, then you should be scared. Think of it this way: if because we're all working differently, my laptop might try to exfiltrate more data than Sinis's laptop, because he might have, let's say, 2 or 3 attempts a day in average. I might have 15. So it might be okay for me to have 15, and Sinisa only have 3. If Sinisa suddenly one day comes up to 15, then we know that's an unusual behavior of his laptop and his way of working. So there's many different ways of detecting what should you do and when, and of course that's part of the educational program when you buy BlackFog, and you get installation help and you get setup help, and basically we're also teaching you how to read these events and how to investigate them as a MSP, because I don't think you should teach the end customers to do all this because it's just confusing to them. You should sell them a service that, dear customer, we are in control, we know what to do, we've been trained looking at these events, so we will report to you if there's something bad going on. That's the right approach.
Okay, and there is actually one question exactly related to this, so to the events themselves. Do I have to go through the events in the dashboard every day? It looks like a lot of work to keep my
It
endpoints
does.
protected.
Yeah, correct. And that was why I said we are using that impact center that I'll just scroll a little bit back in the presentation. There's a lot of things here. So that is actually why we created this for you, because here you see all that leverage. If some days are more exfiltration than others and so on. So if you find this view normal, then you don't need to dig further into it. If you find something is really bad strange going on here that looks not normal, then you should start looking at it. So we actually filtered all that, what I call noise in the event, away to begin with, and that's what you should look at. There's also a possibility in the console that you can get alerts when something is happening, and of course then you need to react on those alerts. But I would say once or twice a week, go in here, have a look. Does it look normal? And that's fine. Log off again, no problem. And then once a month, go in, press the report button to your customer, download a report, write a small executive summary to the customer. Dear customer, it does look okay this month. Or dear customer, you have a few machines that we see that are doing a little bit more profiling and data exfiltration attempts than normal. Maybe something is going on here. We will of course monitoring them for the next couple of days to see if it gets worse. So please stay tight, kind of. So there's a lot of services and a lot of ideas that we can help you with, that you can actually build on to your customers' uh, subscription plans to you as an MSP, because this is data exfiltration is a new way of thinking cybersecurity as well, because people are stealing the data and you need to report to it, and you need to report to the authorities. So please use it once, twice a week. It's not urgent, but if you get 20 alerts in 1 minute that this machine has been hit by ransomware, then you should probably react to it a little bit faster than the day after. But you can get alerts from the system as well. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And we have one more. I guess you mentioned threat hunting during the presentation. So it's about threat hunting. Is it available at the moment? Where can you access this within the console?
So threat hunting is actually a feature that is coming on the 16th of April. So next Friday, it will be presented by our CEO on a Meet the Geek session. And Nestor, you can invite your customers and that to it as well as last time. So there, the threat hunting module will be presented, and then after that it will be available to the MSPs that want to buy that service as well.
Okay, great. So I don't see any more questions coming in. I just want to say to everybody on the call, in case you want to test BlackFog. In case you already don't have it, please let us know. We will be happy to help you with getting your trial license or help with the testing itself. And yeah, I will just keep it few more minutes open just in case we get some new questions. And yeah, if not, I want to thank you, Thomas, for your presentation today. Thank you for doing this. Harald as well. Thank you for being here and joining us, making this possible. And I want to thank everybody, of course, for joining us today. And we hope we gave you a little bit more insight into BlackFog, what it can do for you. And of course, for any other additional questions, we are here and happy to reply.
Thanks, Inesa, and thank you for the opportunity.
So I don't see new questions coming in. I would say we can close it for today. I would want to say thank you once more to everybody on the call. Once again, if you want to test the product, if you need a trial license, please contact us. You have our contact details. And yeah, thank you all once more and wish you all a really nice day.
So